Okay, hi everyone. My son's down here, so I just wanted to do a update and let everyone know what has been going on with me. And I said I was gonna update. I said I had a doctor's appointment on Tuesday, and that afterwards I was going to update. And I didn't. So this is the first update since then. So I'll fill you in. If you haven't, if you don't know everything that's going on, you can check out my other video. I'll put it on the screen somewhere over here. The first video explaining everything. Well, not the first video, but my last video. It explains a lot of what's going on. So go ahead and check that out first. So anyway, I was supposed to go to the doctor's appointment and then update. And then what happened was on Monday, I ended up having a fever and some chills and some muscle aches, and on my discharge instructions from that Friday ER visit, it said, if you have any of these, go ahead and come back in because you can have an infection and it can be serious. So we decided that after all day of having that night to just go ahead and go in. So we went in and they did extensive blood work. And decided to do, I still had my pain, and I had stopped bleeding at that point, but I was still in pain, and they decided, well, we should do another ultrasound, to look at everything and see what's going on, because I hadn't had the miscarriage actually diagnosed at that point. We were pretty sure that we had miscarried because I had bleeding and cramping on that Friday, and that's what it seemed like. It seemed like textbook miscarriage. And so I was like grieving that, and I was just expecting to go to the doctor's appointment on Tuesday and just him say, we're going to do blood work until it reaches 0. I'm sorry, this is when you could try again, blah, 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 whatever. So we went to the emergency room. They did another ultrasound. The doctor came in and was like, your ultrasound on Friday was abnormal. This one was abnormal too. There's something that I'm not sure what it is. We went ahead and called your OB, and he's going to come in and look at it. We're like, okay. He's like, I think it might be, I can't say this very well, I don't know why, but hemorrhagic cyst, like a cyst that hemorrhages, like a bleeding cyst, or an ectopic pregnancy or something. We're not sure. So we're just going to have the OB come in and check it out, your OB. So we wait, and we were in there for hours and hours and hours, and the OB comes, and my OB comes in, checks it out, and they debate for a while, and then he comes in and he says, this is looking weird to me, it's making me nervous. He's like, it's kind of looking like an ectopic pregnancy, but I can't be 100% sure. No one can until they do surgery. He's like, I don't want to do surgery right now. He's like, they called me in to come do surgery, but I don't know if that's necessary right now. I want to keep you overnight. You're not stable enough to go home. So that was really stressful because my son and I breastfeed him so much that it was stressful on us for me to stay overnight in the hospital. My son, he had to stay with my husband. And hello, honey, you have food all over your face. Here you go. You want this? Uh-oh. And so my husband had to stay with him, so I was all alone all night. And thank God I had a friend come visit me, and I love her for coming in and spending time with me, so I wasn't completely alone. And then in the morning, he was going to come in and tell us whether he wanted to do surgery then or not. So I was a wreck all night. I was so scared. I was like, I'm going to have surgery. I'm freaking out. This is crazy. He doesn't even know for sure what's going on, and he wants to cut me open. Oh my God. So he comes in the morning, and he says, he examines me, and he's like, the pain seems a little better. You haven't had a fever all night. The Tylenol took care of that. I think you can go home. I think it's okay. We'll just watch things and come to doctor's appointment on Thursday. And I didn't know if I was going to make that because I had a client that was had an induction scheduled. I'm a birth doula, and I support women during their birth and their pregnancy. Oh, you're funny, Keegan. And so she was due to have that induction on Thursday, and so I was gonna reschedule that if I could, or go before. And then I get home and take, like, from the hospital, we get discharged, and I take, like, a 4-hour nap, and then she calls me in labor. Like, she went in labor on her own. There's no way I was going to miss that because I wanted to support them, and I was so excited. So I went to that birth, and that was 18 hours long, and then when I got back, on the way back, I had the horrible pains again. My back hurt. I was bleeding again. But I just decided, you know, this is just cramping from the miscarriage, and I just need to use my rice sock. Hi, baby. And, okay, I can't, hold on, honey. I can't lift you up, honey. I can't lift you up. Here, look at this. You want to play with this? And so, I just figured I'll use my rice sock, take some pain meds, and go to bed. So I did, and they went away, and it was fine. And then the next morning, I the next day, I should say, me, my husband, and my son went for more blood work, and then we went to my doctor's appointment. And I had the more blood work like an hour before. It was like 1 something when I had the blood work, and then I went to the doctor's appointment at 2 something. So I got into we waited for the doctor to come in. He came in and he said, "How you been doing?" I told him about the bleeding and the pain the day before at the birth, and I said, "I think it's just because I overdid it. It was just cramping and whatever." I hope I'm not forgetting anything. It's just all crazy. So he then he examined my abdomen, pressed on it, and I was in a lot of pain. It hurt more when he like released, and it was all mostly on this on my left side that it hurt really bad. And he was just saying, you know, I don't know. And he's like, "I'll be right back." Set down the files, left, and we're just sitting there. And I guess he went and called for the blood results that I'd taken an hour earlier, that I'd done an hour earlier, and he wanted those results. He quickly got those and came back in and said, "I know what's going on." Said your levels were dropping. They went up initially in the 200s and something. I can't remember all the numbers right now. And then they had dropped, and they were dropping dramatically from 186, 115, and that was good. And that's why he thought, you know, initially miscarriage. It's just a miscarriage, and that's the miscarriage is going as it should or whatever. My blood work from that day had shot back up to 280 something. And that doesn't happen in miscarriages. Your blood work doesn't go up, it doesn't go down and then go back up when you have a miscarriage. If it's going down, you're losing the pregnancy or it's not viable, or as far as I know, as far as the research I've done. And he said, you know, that's a huge red flag of an ectopic pregnancy. It's like you have the pain on one side, you have what looks like possibly an ectopic pregnancy on your ultrasound on your left side. You know, he's like, if it barks like a dog and it looks like a dog, it's probably a dog. And he's like, and I was like, well, why do you keep saying maybes and buts, and it's making me, you know, like, how am I supposed to trust that? And he, you know, he's like, no one knows 100% usually of an ectopic unless you open someone up with surgery and it's there. It's really hard to see. It's very small. I was like 7 weeks at this point, 7 weeks and a couple days. It was very small. The levels were very low. And so we were in shock. My husband he lost it. He was I mean, we've already been through so much, so many hospital visits, so many ups and downs. We thought we had lost our baby. I mean, and then to hear this is worse than worse. I mean, this is worse than, what can be worse than a miscarriage? What can be worse than losing your child is this. So he gave us 2 options. You can have the methotrexate shot, which is basically like a chemo drug. Some people use it for rheumatoid arthritis, and it's this toxic substance that you get injections of, and it dissolves the pregnancy. And with low levels like that, that's usually what they recommend. Or you can have laparoscopic surgery to remove the pregnancy from the tube. And because at that point, he didn't think I had ruptured or anything like that. So we went home. He wanted me to decide right then and there and just make a decision. And I was probably going to go to the hospital and have, you know, the surgery or the shot or whatever. And since I'm breastfeeding my son, I mean, it's a huge decision. If I take the methotrexate shot, I did more research when I got home. I can't give my son any of my milk for 3 days. And that is crazy because he nurses so frequently. I would just have to wean him like that, like just 1 minute he can have it, the next minute, nope, I'm sorry, you can't have any. And that would have been devastating to him. The emotional impact that it would have on him, it just wouldn't have been worth it. It's just, I don't know, if you don't understand, I mean, a lot of people won't understand if you're not a breastfeeding mom or an attachment parent, but it just wouldn't have been worth it at all. So we cried in each other's arms, and we really researched it, and we decided, you know, we have to, thank you for my book, baby. He just handed me the breastfeeding book that he just got off the bookshop. Thank you. But we really, you know, and it was the hardest decision, but we decided, you know, we have to schedule the surgery for Monday, or as soon as possible. We have to call the doctor and schedule this. So we had made that decision, and that was very hard because I don't want to have surgery. I've never had surgery. And so I went and we were on the floor and we were hugging, and it was so emotional. My husband, I'd never seen him that scared, and I went and I got back up and I sat down in the computer chair because our computer is in our living room. And when I sat back down, all of a sudden this horrible, excruciating pain just came, like just radiated through my abdomen, and it was just, oh my gosh. And all of a sudden there's all this like pressure and just horrible pain, and it was like the pain before but like more intense. And I was just like, oh my gosh, give me the rice sock. I need some pain pills. I don't know what to do. Like, oh my God, this hurts so bad. And my husband knew at that point. He was like, no, we need to go to the emergency room right now. You know, he's like, we know what this is. We're not messing around. He's like, he was freaking out, and I think he knew something was